everybody. Welcome to our Facebook Live today. I'm so glad to see so many of you with us from all over the world. We hope that you have and are having a nice holiday season, and we're so glad to see you with us. Welcome. I see Mary from Washington State and Ron from Illinois. We have Tor from Syracuse, Lindsay from California, Christine from England. Let's see, Scotland. I see Alyssa from Scotland, Veronica from Saskatchewan. So no matter where you're joining us from in the world today, thank you for being here and welcome. If you haven't yet, please do let us know where you're joining us from today, and we'd love to hear. So we have a bunch of updates at MyHeritage that I wanted to let you know about. The most exciting being that just before Christmas, we released MyHeritage genetic groups. So we now offer a very, very high resolution into your ethnic origins with over 2,100 genetic groups. We will be posting a link to the blog post in the comment section, and if you haven't checked it out yet, if you've taken a MyHeritage DNA test, or if you've taken a DNA test with another service and then uploaded your DNA results to MyHeritage, you can now go on to your ethnicities in MyHeritage and check out your genetic groups. So please do take a look. This is something that has been long requested, and we're really, really excited about this. So please do check it out. And if you've already seen your genetic groups on MyHeritage, please do write in the comment section and let us know what you learned. If it confirmed what you knew about your family, if it gave you a new direction to explore, please let us know. We'd love to hear. We have a very exciting session today. We have Shenley Puttebro from Inspire Family History, which inspires children of all ages to love family history, something that is just so important. And especially at the holiday time when maybe you're speaking more with family, maybe virtually this year, but we hope that it's a great time to get other family members involved in your family history. So really a great opportunity to find different ways to do that. So without further ado, let me introduce Shenley and bring her onto the screen here. Hello, Shenley, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me, Esther.
Thanks so much for joining us. We're really excited about this. I know that, I'm very interested in my origins and where I come from, and I'm always looking for ways to involve my children more in our roots and, try and get them excited also about where they come from.
Great. Well, I hope you get a lot of ideas today that you can use with your family.
Fantastic. So before we start, I just want to tell everybody also that we'll be giving away a MyHeritage Complete Plan today to one lucky winner. So in order to enter in the draw, all that you have to do is tell us a way that you use MyHeritage to get your children or grandchildren or other family members involved in your family history, how you collaborate with them, make them feel involved. Leave us a comment in the comment section how you do that on MyHeritage, or let us know how you're enjoying the MyHeritage genetic groups that I just spoke about before. And anyone who leaves a comment will be entered in our draw, and we'll be giving away one MyHeritage Complete Plan. That's the best plan we have to offer at MyHeritage, with unlimited access to 12.7 billion historical records, unlimited family tree size, and access to all the MyHeritage photo tools. So a fantastic prize that we're giving away today, and we'll be giving that away at the end of today's session after the questions. So stay tuned. Do you want me to bring up your? Yeah,
awesome.
We're really excited about it.
Yeah. Awesome. And I'm excited to see people's comments too. That'll be neat to see how people are using MyHeritage with their kids and grandkids.
Should I bring up your slides? Okay.
That would be great. Thank you, Esther.
There we go. We see them now.
Okay. Great. Thanks so much. I'm so excited to be here with you all who are joining from all over the world to share some fun family history activity ideas for your kids and your families going into the new year. The new year is a really great time to set goals and make plans for the coming year. And I would encourage you to use family history or to make family history a part of your goals and incorporating it more with your kids and your families, your extended families, your immediate family. There's so much you can do. As Esther said, my name's Shenley Puterbaugh. I'm the founder of Inspire Family History, and I love getting people excited about family history, especially young people, children, youth, adults. We're all children. So as she said, our focus is inspiring children of all ages to love family history, but we're all somebody's children, right? Child, right? So a little bit about me. I got really excited about family history as a kid. My mom would share family stories with me, and we did a few different family trees over the years. But what really got me into it the most was when I spent a week with each set of my grandparents when I was 18 years old. I had that opportunity, and we went through old boxes with documents, photos, memorabilia. I was able to go visit places with them that their ancestors had lived, and homes and graveyards and churches, etc. And I was able to interview them, and I learned so many of their family stories. And from that experience, I was able to come home with around 1,000 names to add to my family tree, which was really incredible and made a huge difference for me. But what I was most excited about was actually sharing what I had learned with my family members, and in hopes that they would get excited about family history too, because it was so exciting to learn all the things that I had learned and the connections that I had made. And so I had experienced a lot of benefits. There's a lot of benefits that come from doing family history. And among those benefits are self-confidence and family unity and resilience. And I saw things happening in my life and other people's lives as I heard other people sharing their stories about what connections they had made with family history. And I really wanted to help other people experience those benefits. I really try to help my family experience these benefits as well. My husband, this is my family. I'll introduce you to them real quick. My husband and I have been married 12 years. Yesterday was our anniversary. We have an 11-year-old son, a 9-year-old daughter, and a 1-year-old daughter. And we really enjoy doing fun things together and going on adventures. And a lot of those adventures and fun things include family history. And I'm hoping and I'm seeing them be inspired to learn about their family and really like it. And so I really want to share as ideas with you. And so hopefully your family can experience the benefits of family history as well. Lately, it's been really difficult to connect with family. We have been social distancing and not able to get together with people as much as we'd like, especially over the holidays. But luckily, there's so many ways that we can still do that through technology. And we can come together with our family through family history, even when we are apart. And a lot of the ideas that I'm going to share with you today have to do with connecting with family members virtually as well, because we can't in person. So I'm going to share with you in-person ideas as well as virtual ideas. A lot of them are going to be, you can do either way. So I've broken the ideas that I'm going to share today into 3 categories. The first category is in-person or real-time video chat. So you can use Zoom or Google Meets or whatever technology you use to do real-time or in-person activities. So the first activity is having story time. Story time is awesome, and you can share family stories with your family members even when you're apart. So the first thing to do would be choose a time that everybody can get together. Set up a call and send everybody the link. And then choose a family story. You can use stories from your life, stories from your parents or your grandparents' lives, or even ancestors that you've never met that you've learned about. As you're doing research with MyHeritage, a lot of times we come across sources and we can piece together stories of these people and share them with our family members. One of the most important things is to make it digestible for your audience, whether you're talking to youth or children or adult children, that will change how you tell the story. And so adjust the story accordingly, according to your audience. You can even use props. You can use your body as props. As in this picture, she's using her hand as a prop. But you can also use stuffed animals or heirlooms or anything that you can think of to make your story more engaging. And record it. You can record your story that you're telling on Zoom, or if it's in person, you can record it as well. And keep that. That's part of preserving your family history. So don't forget to record. The next idea is family bingo. This is a really fun one. And what you can do is print off or download your MyHeritage family tree and send it to the people who are going to be participating. If it's extended family, send one family tree to each family that's going to participate on this Zoom call, or if you're going to do it in person, you can just give each person a family tree. Then create the bingo card. To create the bingo card, you can either have a printed squares, or you can draw it, as in this picture. We just drew squares, and then as everybody who's participating looks at the family tree, they choose names from the family tree, because everybody will have the same family tree printed out. Everybody can choose names to put in each square of their bingo card. Then schedule a time that everybody's available and have everyone bring cards or small objects that they can put on the squares. It can be raisins, it can be little pieces of paper, it can be pennies, it can be anything that people have around their home that they can use as on the squares to mark the spots that they have that you've called. So if you're hosting it, you can print out the names or write the names on little slips of paper, put them in a hat or a bag, and then just gradually, one at a time, draw the names out, and then everybody will mark their card. And you can even have prizes. Even if it's virtual, you can still have prizes. In person is a lot easier to have prizes, but virtually, you can either send something in the mail as a prize, or you can make it a special prize of having a one-on-one Zoom call with a grandchild or that extended family member. But there's prizes you can still do virtually. So this is how you will download the family tree from MyHeritage. You'll go to the family tree section, print charts and books, and then you'll choose from 9 different formats that they have. You'll download the PDF, and you can either email or print it for your family members who are going to participate. The next idea is the family trivia game. This one is really fun. The first thing that you'll do is come up with facts from your MyHeritage family tree. So you could pick names, dates. You can go through the sources and find information on the people, or if you have stories, then you can use facts from the stories. And then put it into a presentation. So this could be a poster board. You can do a poster board and have sticky notes with questions, kind of like a Jeopardy game, and put the questions on the back and the number of points on the front, and just hold it up. If it's virtually, a virtual family trivia game, you can just hold it up and have different families take turns going and choose one, and then you'll read it, and then they'll try to answer it. And just like Jeopardy, other families can take the question if they get it wrong. Or you can turn it into a board game, which might be a little more complicated. But another way to do a Jeopardy game is to do a PowerPoint and present it on the Zoom call, and just have family members call out what category and what points that they want. So there's lots of ways to do a family trivia game, but decide what you're most comfortable with, whether it's making a poster board or doing a PowerPoint or however you want to do it, and decide how you're going to keep score. Plan a time, and you can also have prizes for your family trivia game. The next idea is an item box. This is really great for young kids, but also older kids can do this too, where you choose an ancestor that you want to highlight, and you think of objects that represent that person. For example, my grandma lived during World War II in London, and she has told me different stories about her experience. One of them is that when there were different bomb scares, she'd have to go into a shelter, and every time she came out of the shelter, her mom would comb her hair for lice. So I could put a comb in the item box. I could put a toy soldier, because my grandma's first memory is of her brother playing with his toy soldiers. I could also put a toy ice cream cone if I have one, or an actual cone from an ice cream cone if you have one of those. But because she didn't have her first ice cream until she was 7 years old, and that meant so much to her. She still remembers her very first ice cream, and she still has ice cream every day because she loves ice cream so much. It was such a special memory for her. So those are items that I could put in this box. And if it's in person, you can have the children pick out the items. If it's virtually, you can hold up the box and let them choose virtually, and then tell the story behind the item. Okay, and also record it. Make sure that you're recording things if they're virtually, because it really is preserving your family history as well. A lot of times we forget little stories and may not have them saved anywhere, either written down or audio recorded, but doing virtual things with your family, a huge great benefit is the ability to record and save those recordings, so you do have those stories. The next one is show and tell. So bring out photos or heirlooms and show them to your family members. This is a little different from an item box, because the item box is things that didn't necessarily belong to the individuals. You know, it's things that represent stories, but this is actually sharing photos or heirlooms with your family members virtually. So share the stories. A lot of times, you know, we see photos and we don't know the stories behind the photos, or we have a family heirloom that has been in our house for years, and our family members don't know the whole story behind it. They might know that it's important to us, but they don't know the story. So schedule a show and tell time with your family and tell them the stories behind the photos and the heirlooms, and record it. The next idea is to interview family members. Any age, except for really little ones that can't talk very well, can interview family members. That might surprise you, but it's possible. So schedule a time. Have a list of questions. When my kids were really young, they couldn't write yet. Maybe they were 5 years old, 4 or 5 years old. They could draw and they could ask questions. And so we came up with a list of things that they wanted to find out about their grandparents. And some of the questions were, what's your favorite color? Or what's your favorite food? Or what's your favorite movie? You know, very simple things for the younger kids. But as kids get older, they can ask more detailed questions. on inspirefamilyhistory.com under ideas, story ideas, you'll find a long list of interview questions that you can use when you are interviewing family members. But back to the younger kids. So if younger kids are doing it, they can, when they ask the question, they can actually draw the answers, draw what their parents say or grandparents say when they interview them. All right, so youth and older children can write down answers or even record it and write it down later. Decide how to record it. There are a lot of apps that you can download that will record either audio or video, record conversations. Okay, so the next category is activities to do, then share with your family. So this is not real-time activities. This is something that families can do separately and then share with each other. Cooking show. My kids love doing cooking shows. The way that you do a cooking show is you choose, this can be done with immediate family at home and then shared with extended family. So you're going to choose a recipe. So choose a family recipe, a recipe that is really popular in your immediate family or an ancestor's recipe, and get all the ingredients out and then have somebody record it. It can be recorded into snippets, so little like start and stop it for a section of the recipe, or it can just be a continuous recording. But if it is in snippets, then you can record it and then edit it, put it together and make it fun. These are great things that you can share with family members. So if each family picked an ancestor's recipe, they can do their own cooking show and then send it and exchange them, and everybody could see their favorite recipes and share ancestors' recipes. The next idea is to recreate old family photos. Choose a photo that you can recreate. If you're doing this with multiple grandchildren or multiple families, then you can have different photos and send them the photos. Send everybody a photo that they recreate and then share with each other. And this is really fun to see how creative people can get. It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to wear actual clothes from the 1920s. You can just use what you have and make it look as close as possible to the photo that is sent. It's also fun to, with the creating the family photo, to have the old photo next to the recreated photo so everybody can see both. Okay, so the next idea is create a family playlist. We just did this over Thanksgiving and it was really fun. And the way to do this is to ask family members what their favorite songs are. Make a list of all the living family members' favorite songs. Then ask the oldest family members for their parents' or grandparents' favorite songs. If they know their favorite songs or songs they remember them listening to, that's great. If they don't, then you can, and they just know the genre, then you can pick a song from a genre or the time period or place that they lived. So it doesn't, for family members, ancestors that aren't alive anymore, you can still pick songs from the place that they lived and the time period. So those were the popular songs that they most likely listened to at some point. So you make a list of all these songs that that are significant to your family, and then create a playlist. You can make a playlist. I have iTunes, and you can make a playlist of various songs, and then you can send the list to people who are not with you. But the fun part is when you're listening to it, you can also make it into a sort of game by asking people who, or having people guess what or whose favorite song it was. So as we were listening to it, be like, whose favorite song is this? And then some people would guess, and then it would be revealed. And it was just kind of fun to guess even the living family members' favorite songs, as well as the family members who are no longer with us. All right, sources to stories. The way that you do this idea is to compile sources that you have saved on MyHeritage for an ancestor. So, for example, this woman is my 5th great grandmother. She lived, she was born in 1817, and this is a news article that we found of when she turned 98 years old. So this was in 1915 that this news article came out, and she ended up living to 101. So there was actually another article that we found when she was 100. But amazing, the information that we were able to find on her because of these news articles. It doesn't have to be a newspaper article that you use as a source. It could be a census, it can be a birth certificate, or a death certificate, or a marriage certificate, or a military record, an obituary. All these sources give us details about our ancestors. And it's really great and significant in piecing their stories together. So the idea is to compile the sources from one ancestor and give that to an individual or a specific family in your extended family. And when you send them those sources, what they're going to do is then look through the sources and write down the story of that ancestor based off of the information from the sources. It doesn't have to be long. It could be a paragraph. It could be 2 pages. It really depends on how much information is in the sources. But if each family or each individual does one person's story from their sources, then all of a sudden you have all these family stories, the life experiences of these ancestors that you have all written down, and you can share them with each other. And you can either tell the stories on a Zoom call or in person, or you could just email them to the rest of the family so that they can now know the story of that specific ancestor as well. So each family would get the sources from one ancestor, or each individual would get the sources from one ancestor, and then individually or as a family, they would come up with the story and send it to everyone else. All right, the last category is in-person family fun. So these are activities that are specifically in person. They can be done with your immediate family, or if you're able to see your extended family, they can be done with extended family. Okay, I love this idea because we did this recently and it was so much fun. So you can discover the games that your family played. If you can ask the older relatives in your family what games they played or what games their parents or grandparents played, great. But if not, you can look for traditional games from the homelands and time periods of your ancestors. So as you are looking at these games, you'll find one that you think would be fun for your family. There are a lot of games that are from different countries and different time periods. And so just searching for them, you'll be sure to find a game that you can play as a family, and not just any game. It's a game that will connect you to your ancestors. So plan it. Get the things that you need for this game, and then play it. The game that we played, I'm gonna butcher this, I don't speak German, but this is a German game, was Schokolade Nessen. I don't know how to say that, but it was really, really fun. And my last name is Puterbaugh. I married a Puterbaugh, and that's So we have German heritage, but it was a long way back, so I don't speak German. None of our immediate family speaks German, but we were able to play this German traditional game and connect with our family members. As you can see in this picture, my husband is wearing a hat and scarf and mittens in the house, and no one else is. So this is part of the game. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about this game because it was so much fun. So if you have any German ancestry, I highly recommend that you try this game. So we had a hat, a scarf, a pair of mittens, and then you also need a candy bar wrapped in newspaper and tied with a ribbon, as well as a fork and a knife. And what you do is you have a pair of dice, so two dice, and you roll the dice, and if you get a 6, then your goal is to get the hat, scarf, and mittens on as quick as possible and try to open the candy bar with the ribbon and the newspaper. But with mittens, it's difficult. So you're doing this and everybody else continues to roll and try to get a 6. So if somebody else gets a 6, you have to take your hat and scarf and mittens off and stop what you're doing, and the next person's trying to do it. And you keep going, and your goal is to open the candy bar and then eat as much as possible of it with the fork and the knife. And let me tell you, it was so funny. We had a lot of family laughs with this game, and I'm really excited to play it again, and so are my kids. So find a family game that has to do with your homeland and the time periods that your ancestors lived. All right, learn an ancestor's skill. So there's lots of ways that you can discover what skills your ancestors had. And you can find clues by interviewing older family members. You can find clues by looking in documents. A lot of times in censuses, it will tell what the career of that individual was. So you can learn skills from somebody's job. You can find out hobbies, or maybe in an obituary, it talks about what that person liked or enjoyed doing, and you can learn that skill. You can also just consider the time period and location of an ancestor and learn things that they most likely knew how to do. Sorry, back to that one. For example, this picture is of my son, and my great grandfather loved building bicycles. He had tons of bike parts in his yard, and he would build bikes. And so my son needed a bike, and we found a shop nearby that taught kids how to build bicycles. So he was able to go and build his own bike and experience that. And we were able to connect that experience to his great-grandfather, who really liked to build bikes. So here's a list that I just came up with of possible skills. These are very generic. Your family will have specific skills that were within your ancestors, but these are very generic that you will probably have, and skills that you can start with if you don't know where to start. Soap making, candle making, hand washing clothes, wood carving, playing an instrument, doing a specific sport, painting, pottery, survival skills. A lot of ancestors for many thousands of years knew a lot of survival skills that we don't know as much now. Food preservation, canoeing, woodworking, bicycle repair, dancing, knitting, and sewing. But like I said, as you are looking into your family and learning about your family, you'll find skills that your ancestors had that you can learn, something that might sound interesting to you. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you got some ideas of family activities that you can do with your family, with your kids, to get them excited about family history. My website is Inspire Family History, and like we said in the beginning, we provide ideas, tools, and resources to inspire children of all ages to love family history. As you're trying out these ideas that I shared today, I would love to hear your experiences and, yeah, just hear how it went for you. that is one of the things that is really fun, is to get feedback from people who tried them as well. So visit inspirefamilyhistory.com. There's lots of other ideas, articles, resources that you can find there. And feel free to follow Inspire Family History on Facebook or Instagram. We are posting regularly different ideas and things that would be helpful to you, hopefully, in inspiring your children, grandchildren, anyone in your life to love family history. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Shanley. What fantastic ideas. Really, some really interesting things that I would have never thought of. And I love that that picture of the game you were playing. Incredible. Can we play it even if we don't have German family history?
Yeah, go for it. It's a fun one.
Fantastic. We received some really nice comments so far, so I'm just going to read out a couple of them before we get to questions. Let's see. We have Lloyd, who said, I couldn't get my kids interested in family history until I took a pic of my side beside Javert House in Lavenham from their ancestors, which they carry the name, was Harry Potter's birthplace. So we are muggles just like him.
That's fun.
That's a nice way of getting them involved. Let's see, Pat says, we started a Facebook family group for children of our grandparents, and we have now expanded to children of our great grandparents and are sharing photos and stories. That's a nice idea.
Yeah, Facebook groups are awesome. I actually did that too, and it's been really fun to connect and learn about learn about extended family members that we don't know. On inspirefamilyhistory.com, we actually have an article about how to do a family Facebook group, so you can check that out as well.
Let's see. We have just some really nice comments. Allison says, that was incredible. Thank you for all the information and ideas. And Crystal says some great ideas there. Yeah, so just fantastic. I think everyone came out with some good tips. Cindy says, our grandkids love to help work on the old cars, and they each get one their senior year. They love to help.
That's great.
Yeah, very, very.
There's lots of ways. Yeah, there's lots of ways to go off of interest. Like the first comment you said with Harry Potter, grandkids were into Harry Potter. So find some way to connect to Harry Potter. That was really lucky. But yeah, if your kids like cars, there's lots of ways to connect with our ancestors just based off of our kids' interests.
What great advice. Here we have a question from Shelley. She says, these are all great ideas for children that are interested. However, what do we do if the grandchildren aren't? What are some suggestions? Being young, they just don't understand the importance of ancestry.
Good question. So in the comment, it says that the children are getting into it, but the grandchildren aren't. On our website, we have a tab that's called Inspire Others, and it gives 3 keys to inspiring a love of family history. And so I would encourage you to look at that. I'll just tell you the keys right now, but there's age, interest, and learning style. So if you think about the individual or group of individuals that you're wanting to get excited about it, think of their interests. Think about how old they are. If they're young grandchildren or even older children, like around 10 or 11, or teenagers even, there's ways to connect with them. Some of them are more hands-on learners. So yeah, and think about what you can do with them. I mean, taking them to a cemetery or taking them to an old church might not be exciting for them at that age. But there's activities like the ones we talked about today that are more engaging, that are, if they're online a lot, there's lots of online activities that you'll find on the website. If they are really into art or anything, just find their interests and bring family history into their interests, and it will be a lot more likely that they'll get excited about it and enjoy the activity.
We have a question here from Barbara. Any tips for hosting a virtual reunion for several different family branches?
Ooh, several family branches. That would be really big. And that would be, that's a really good question. I am going to think about that one. If you type your email address or email me, I posted my email. It's shenley@inspirefamilyhistory.com. If you email me, I will think about that and get back to you, and maybe even do a blog post on that. Thank you for asking that question.
Okay. Let's see. Betsy asks, my nephews have some mental issues, and one of them is almost illiterate. He can play games on the computer, but he can't really read. What are the best ways to get them interested in their family history?
Hands-on activities. I think, learning skills or drawing. I think what I heard you say, they could draw or make things, but there's crafts they can do. There's drawing. You can find an ancestor or even start with themselves. So if they are having a hard time connecting to ancestors, you can start doing an activity about themselves and then bring in the ancestors later. For example, one of our art ideas is to draw an ancestor with the things around that ancestor that they liked. But you can do that with the kid. So have the child draw a picture of themselves with all the things that they liked or that they value, that are important to them. It could be a stuffed animal, it could be their computer, it could be whatever, but incorporate things that are important to them in the drawing. And then maybe later on, you can have them do that for a grandparent or an ancestor, so they realize that these ancestors, these people, were people just like me. That's just one idea, but I think that if you go on Inspire Family History, you'll be able to find other ideas that more resonate with your personal, with that specific child, based off of what you know about them that I don't know a lot about. So go ahead.
We received some really great suggestions here from Melinda. She said, I made a family coloring book for my grandchildren and the grandchildren of my husband's siblings. Still working on one for my side. Lovely idea. Love that.
That's a great idea.
And Samantha wrote, I joined Billion Graves. I take my 10-year-old out to take pictures. He loves finding treasures for others, knowing if they are on the other side of the world and they can't physically visit. So nice.
That's great. And for people who like photography, that is a really great idea. People who like taking pictures, or kids who like using cameras, going and doing an activity like that is awesome.
So nice. And just I love the message of helping others who aren't necessarily able to visit and to see those online. So just so lovely. So lovely. And we have another suggestion here from Christian. He said, I made a little story for our postman. My great-grandmother mentions their postman a lot in the letters from 1840. I told our postman how much our family has always been close to theirs, and our postman has been so helpful during our COVID lockdown. He loved the story and photos of the post office, which still looks like it did in the 1800s.
That's great.
So nice. So lovely. So some really, really great suggestions here. And for anyone who missed some of them, you can always rewatch today's session. Today's session, as well as all of our other sessions, are available on the MyHeritage Facebook page, facebook.com/MyHeritage, under the videos section. So don't worry if you missed some of them or you want to go through and rewatch Shenley's really detailed list. Feel free to go and watch it during any available time that you may have. Shenley, thank you so much. Should we choose a winner?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Let's do it. So we have one winner today for the MyHeritage Complete Plan, the best plan that we have available at MyHeritage for a whole year. And let's see, today's winner. Let's see where we have today's winner. Okay, we have today's winner is Barry Nicole. And Barry wrote, my oldest is 28 years old. He was so excited to take the MyHeritage DNA test and get his results. Now he has taken 3 trips over the past 4 years to Central and South America. He just loves the country. I saw the DNA update from MyHeritage, and what do you know? He has roots in the Mesoamerica and Andean. Can't wait to share this with him. So really amazing.
Congratulations.
So congratulations, Barry. And we'll be in touch with you through private message to claim your prize. Shenley, thank you so much for joining us today. What an informative session. We really, really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And for everyone in the audience, on Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern, we have our end of the year special, Facebook Live special, where we're going to be reflecting on back onto 2020 and talk about the year that was at MyHeritage and in the genealogy world, and also looking forward to 2021 and things that we have coming up. So please do stay tuned at the same time on Wednesday, and we hope to see you all then. So thank you again, Shenley, and have a good day, everybody. Bye.